This is my 2006 Mini Cooper S. And looking inside, you'll see that this is the lowest spec you can possibly get. It's got cloth seats, along with the ugly 2-spoke steering wheel, no climate control, and even a factory head unit. And I know what you're thinking, Tim, then why did you buy it? How could I say no to that? In this video, we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna change the seats and the rest of the interior. We're gonna update the stereo to an Android Apple Carplay head unit, because you know I like those. And we're gonna do a couple of other bits and pieces to really give this car the love that it deserves. Anyway, let's get this in the barn. Now back in the barn, you'll see I've chosen to do the only thing you can do in these circumstances. When you bought a car that you shouldn't have bought, you've spent more on repairs than you bought the car for, and probably would have been better off buying a different one. The only rational course of action is to buy another one. So what have we bought? Well, this is an R50. So as you can see, it's not the supercharged one. It's a standard Mini Cooper. These things are a lot of fun, but don't go for a huge amount of money, which means with the problem this has got, it's probably not worth fixing, which is why we're going to strip it for parts. When I bought it, it wasn't going into gear, and I thought, am I going to get away with just a slave cylinder? But it turns out the gearbox is shot, so I just don't think it's worth putting a new gearbox in this. But as a parts car, it's got all the bits we need. So starting with the interior, I mean, look at that. It's got a half leather interior, it's got the leather door cards, it's got the 3-spoke steering wheel, and it's got the much nicer silver trim instead of that brushed aluminium that always looks dirty. So on the outside, starting off with down here, we've got the 2-piece split alloy wheels. We've also got the aero kit. So that's the side skirts, the aero front bumper and grills. It's also got the aero back bumper, but because this is a Cooper, not a Cooper S, it hasn't got the Centre X exhaust. So unfortunately, we can't fit that. It's also got some headlights in really good condition. The ones on our Cooper S are all yellow and cloudy and horrible. So rather than trying to restore those, it's going to be a lot easier just to fit these nicer headlights. And we'll still give them a little polish when it's on, but it's a much better place to start. As well as the front lights, the back lights on this are in really good condition too, because the rear lights on this have been shot since I got it. We'll get those swapped over too. This has got a gearbox fault, so it's not going to go back on the road. It's got no service history, the MOT's about to run out, and it's just not worth a huge amount of money. We're probably better stripping the bits off that we want and trying to sell some of the bits to recoup some of our money, and hopefully this won't end up costing us the full £600. So the next time you see this, it'll be a pile of bits on the floor. Now with the parts car stripped, we've got to make this thing nice. So we're going to put all of those bits into here. We're going to start at the back of the car and work forward. So first things first, down here, we've got these lights, which, as you can see, are all cracked and horrible. We'll start by popping this access panel off to give us access to the nut on the back here and the little clips in the side of the lights. So it's probably easier to show you on the one that's going back in. So it's just that one bolt, which I think is a 10mm, and then you've got a couple of clips that you just need to push in, and that rear light should just come straight out. And just having a quick look in here, this can be where the rust underneath your rear light starts from. So it's worth giving this a quick clean, maybe treat it if it's starting to look a bit crusty, but I think we're okay. Then it's just a case of popping the connector in the lights and pushing these back in with a nice firm click. They're in. Looking at how bad the original ones are compared to the new ones, what an upgrade. Now with those swapped over, we're going to bin the lights, but we're going to keep the bulb holders and the bulbs, because you never know when they're going to come in handy. So next up, with the same 10mm that we used to get the lights out, we're going to take the bolt out the back of the rear seats, and you can see these are pretty dirty and grubby, so it'll be good to get rid of these. So just the 10mm, just wind him all the way out, and he's quite a long boy, but there we go. We'll keep him somewhere safe because we're going to need him later to put it all back together. Then with a flathead screwdriver, quite a large one, we're going to lever that bracket apart. So we're going to pop him, I think, just in here. Oh, there we go. If we put him in, you can see it's moving there. And there we go, he's out. And then you've got to get it on an angle. You've got to tilt the seat kind of 45 degrees, and then it should just come back out. I'll show you what I mean. So you bring him up to about 45 degrees. And that's it. basically to get it to that angle. And then the same again on the other side. Now to back out, it's fully stripped out, we can get the replacements in, and that's the rear seats done. It takes about 5 minutes, it's as easy as that. You've got these 4 silver eyelets, so we'll get the seat in, and basically where those black sort of clips are, they just clip into those silver eyelets to hold it in place, and with a firm whack, we can move on to getting the rears in, the same as we took them out. Remember that long boy I told you to put somewhere safe? Well, here we go. Let's fire him back in, and that's the rear seats swapped. With the rears in, nice and straightforward, 5 minutes in and out. Then we want to do the fronts. So again, really straightforward. 4 Torx bits in the floor, a couple of plugs under the seats, and we should be good to go. So we've got a Torx bit on the impact ratchet. And because the connectors under the seat are part of the safety system, and we're going to swap the steering wheel to take the airbag off, we're going to disconnect the battery. Then we can tilt the seat forward to get access to the bolts at the back, which is going to buzz those out, and then onto the bolts at the front. With those out, we can tilt the seat backwards to get access to the plugs underneath. Thinking about it, it would have made more sense if I'd left the back seats out, dragged the front out through the back, instead of having to get it through this little gap. Now with the seats out, I know some of you will be screaming, Tim, please hoover that carpet. Don't worry, I've got you guys. Oh, that looks so much better. What do you think? Definitely worth doing. The new seats are in pretty good shape, but the backs are, well, they've seen better days. The netting's all ripped. So we're going to take the netting off the old seat. And again, it's just a couple of Torx bits on those side levers, and you just lever it out. What do you think? They look a million times better, but we're not done. So next up is the steering wheel, because it's got this horrible 2-spoke steering wheel, which is just ugly. In the back of this one, you've got a 4mm Allen key either side, and we just wind them out. You should give it a little, there you go, a little pull on the top there. And there we go. Again, if you're going to try this at home and you're going to lever these clips off, please, please, please disconnect your battery. So we just need to prise these 2 clips out, and then we need to, so we just pull them out there. We're going to leave the airbag wires in. Now we need to take the centre bolt off the steering wheel, keeping it completely central. We've got a 16mm bolt here for the centre spline nut. And then we line up the new steering wheel, pushing the airbag connectors through this hole, and that little cutout is where the connectors for the clock spring need to go. So you get those in line and you can just push it on. And with that on, you just need to pop your bolt back in, tighten them up, plug in your horn button, and you're good to go. The airbag connectors are exactly the same, so you can just clip those in to the new airbag and you're good to go. Then it's just a nice click and you know it's in. With the steering wheel done, we've just got the door cards and the dash trims to go, and then that's this interior completely transformed. These trims are all held on with clips, so if you've got a new set already, you can see where the clips are. For us, it was a bit of trial and error, but obviously we'd already taken them off the other car. So it's just a case of using plastic trim tools to lever them off and give them a little wiggle, and they should come away. The trim that's behind the rev counter is a bit of a pain, and I think we're gonna have to take the rev counter off to actually remove that. Yeah, so the problem I've got is, you look at this here, and I've broken that. So we're definitely gonna need to remove the rev counter to get the new one back in without breaking it. Now with all that in, it's starting to take shape, but we've got to get the door card swapped over next, so that should be nice and straightforward. Okay, so what you have to do for these is push the trim clip up the side to push that in, and it will release it, and then you can just slide that forward and that comes out. That gives us access to this screw here, and then we've got that screw and that screw, and you'd think that's done, because obviously that would make sense, wouldn't it? But no, there is a hidden screw. You got to pop this reflector off, and then behind there is the final boss. So you just lever them up, you can see you've got some little clips and the screws in there. Pop these off, and then it's just clip after clip after clip all the way around, and then with those clips out it should just lift off, and then we can put the new one on. All this just to change some silver trim. And now onto the fun bit, changing out this stereo. Now with those pulled either side, we've got access to the stereo. It should be held in with 4 screws, but there's only 2. I mean, weight saving? Or has someone had a go at this before? Never mind, with those out, we can pull the stereo out. And that's it. Ready for the new one. So it turns out you need a fascia adapter and a cable adapter to change a stereo in an R53. I don't know why I thought it'd be on ISO plugs. Nothing is these days, is it? So the donor Mini had just a cheap Sony stereo in it, so hopefully it's got the leads behind it that's going to mean we can fit a new stereo in that R53. Now this car has been stripped completely. Well, most of it. We just need to take these Torx bits out and we can pull this stereo out. Now it looks quite sad, but actually these are the bits we need. We've got the antenna adapter, which I need to just clip that off, and we've got the loom adapter, and the last bit we need, the fascia adapter as well. Back in the barn, we've got the bits we needed to fit the new stereo, and guys, this is the stereo everyone talks about. You see this all over Facebook. People keep asking, are they any good? Well, do you know what? I thought, let's give it a go. For like 50, 60 pounds, who doesn't want Apple CarPlay in their Mini? So here it is, fresh off of AliExpress. We've got the in-car entertainment. I mean, guys, we're not here to look at the box, are we? But I've gone for the Android one, not the Windows C one or whatever janky operating system it works on. So this should be better. It's a 2x64, so it's a 2 megabyte or 2 gigabyte by 64 gigabyte. So it's not as good as the one we put in the Mondeo, but hopefully it should be enough for the Mini. All we want is CarPlay, that's it. So look, let's open the box and see what we've got. Inside we've got the leads. Guys, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, that's it, a single DIN Apple CarPlay head unit, fresh from AliExpress. This should not excite me as much as it does, but guys, you know how much I love a cheap CarPlay upgrade. Now we've got the adapter kit out the old Mini, so it is just a case of getting this, connect it all up together, and in 2 minutes time, we'll have CarPlay in the Mini. I'm so excited. I mean, I shouldn't be this excited, but I just love this stuff. You see, it's not quite tight because it catches on the bottom of the dash there, but once we get it all buttoned up, it should be okay.
Sometime later.
To fill that gap, we've been online and we've got ourselves a little spacer plate. We're going to put this between, where's it going to go? It's between the stereo and the fascia adapter, and hopefully that will give us enough room to fill that gap. So
yeah, so we're just going to slide this over here, if I can get it over this bit. Yeah, okay, so just like that, and we're on. Then we're going to put the fascia adapter on sort of behind it. So if you think about it, it's going to push the cage forward a little bit, and obviously this black trim that we've bought is going to fill that gap.
So I went for the 10mm spacer, but I think I probably should have gone for the 15, and that would have looked perfect. But the problem with that is it was going to take twice as long to get it, and I'm super impatient, but still, do you know what? I'm kind of happy with that. It'll do. And there we go. For now, that is the interior of the Mini sorted. I don't really know what I'm doing with this car, but look, let's make it as nice as we can. So what have we done? We've changed out the interior and we've fitted an Apple CarPlay head unit, and I think we've made a massive difference. Before we started, this car had the really ugly grey and black cloth seats. And now we've got the half leather interior. We've also got this silver dash trim here, which I really like. It needs a bit of a clean, but I think it brightens up the interior of the car so much. It's so much nicer than that dirty looking fake brushed aluminium plastic nastiness that it had before. We fitted the 3-spoke steering wheel that you get in the chili pack, and again, I think that looks 100 times better. Of course, changing the seats for half leather has made a massive difference in this car. It feels a lot cleaner, even though it's really grubby and needs a proper clean after this. But I think the big difference, obviously, is that CarPlay head unit. And people ask all the time about CarPlay and Minis. Well, here we go, guys. This is what it looks like.
What a difference. I'm absolutely buzzing. It just finishes this interior off perfectly and makes it just feel a bit more modern. So yeah, guys, it's CarPlay. It's, oh, do you know what? I love this. This is so cool. Now, obviously, we've got a digital radio app because this doesn't have the option to put a DAB receiver in it. And you can see, because this has got less memory than the one we put in the Mondeo, it is a little bit slower. I think it should be all right, but yeah, do you know what? Once CarPlay's plugged into it, I'm not really that worried. It's an Android head unit, so you've got the Android dashboard here. You've got radio. It has got RDS, so I need to have a little play with that. But yeah, this is slightly more money for better features. Then when you look at the Android interface, it's actually a bit quicker. So maybe it's because it's wireless CarPlay, it's slowing down. I'll have a play with it and I'll report back. But overall, I'm well happy with this. Yeah, do you know what? I think I'm going to get another one just to put in one of my Mark II Golfs, because this is so cool. I absolutely love it. What do you think? Is this a great upgrade? But anyway, look, if you're this far into the video, give it a like, give us a subscribe. Really does help. But guys, look, I love this. I think, yeah, definitely going to order another one.
Swapping out the interior on this Mini was super easy, and it's definitely something you can do in an afternoon. The stereo, again, do you know what? If you've got the fascia adapter, you've got the loom adapter, you can get that whole kit on Amazon for about £15. It's not a lot of money. Yeah, I think with a little spacer, these CarPlay head units fit really nicely. And again, guys, the amount of functionality it's given me in this car is unbelievable. So what do you think? Is this something you'd do yourself? And what's next for this car? Well, we've got to sort out the bodywork. We've got that aero front bumper, we've got the side skirts, and of course, we've got the wheels. So I guess that's coming up next for this, but for the immediate future, I've got to get this thing washed and we're going to get it in for an MOT. So do you want to see more of this Mini? If you do, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see me do to it. But guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.